And it's another day of reveals, baby. So, who knows what we're getting today? I'm seeing a lot of people saying Vigar. All right, yesterday's reveal. You guys might have seen Ava Achiever, which is I do kind of look like Ava Achiever. Like I'll admit. Can we talk about seasonals later? Yeah, we can a little bit. Seasonals are of course going to be starting tomorrow, the seasonal qualies, and it's going to be a lot of fun watching the games tomorrow on broadcast. We're going to do the all-day stream. Fine, I'll put on the fucking hat, guys. God damn it. It's on the page, just refresh. Oh shit, wait, it is. You guys weren't joking. Wait, okay, wait. We've got it. We can't zoom in. We can't zoom in. This is bugged out. They actually I think they messed up and revealed this a little bit early because it's not supposed to look like this. All right. Hidden pathways. On the left side, a 5 mana burst speed Bandle spell. Costs 2 less if you've created 2+ cards this game. Not this round, just this game. And it's a draw 2. So it's sort of like deep meditation. It's like 5, potentially 3 discount, which is pretty good. I mean, a 3 mana draw 2 is solid. So, and overall, this will be really, really easy to trigger. All right, next up, we've got Treasured Trash. Also, there's a keyword here called Impact, which we have no idea what it does. We'll find out in 1 second. In fact, we're probably finding out right now as we speak. Impact, new keyword. All right, let's fix this up. So, new keyword, Impact. When this strikes while attacking, it deals 1 to the enemy nexus. This keyword can stack. All right, interesting. So it's sort of like Overwhelm, except it doesn't scale with the attack. It just scales with the keyword, right? And it looks like they sometimes the Bandle icon they show is like orange instead of light green. This is just clearly a mistake. So I think it's supposed to be light green. They didn't actually change it. Like, that'd be weird. Yeah, it's sort of like visibility a little bit. It's like discount Overwhelm. Yeah, it's like discount Overwhelm. But this is kind of a big deal because they just printed another Poro, guys. And I don't know if you guys know this about, like, so I made a Poro deck recently and I got to top 50 with it and it was pretty good. Honestly, it wasn't that good, but it was a Poro deck and it was all right. And the more Poros they print,
yes sir,
Poro decks actually start to be kind of scary all of a sudden. Like, actually. All right, next up, let's go ahead and continue. We've got Treasured Trash, which is this, oh god, they haven't updated again. I'm gonna have to zoom in here again. Treasured Trash, a 10 mana slow speed Bandle card. Fill your hand with random cards. They cost 0 and are fleeting. You can only play 3 more cards this round. Honestly, that's not bad. Like, as far as like 10 mana finishers go, you need to have a small hand size. But this will actually like do a lot to close out the game. Like, obviously I don't expect this to be competitive right away, but it's better than it looks. It is. It's absolute trash, guys. I promise this is better than it looks. I could see this sliding into some kinds of decks. All right, then we've got Arena Kingpin, a 3 mana 4/2 quick attack Yordle from both Bandle and Noxus, and that's it. It's just Arena Kingpin. So it's basically just a Senna. It's just the Senna that you can run in Noxus or Bandle. That's really interesting. I mean, presumably you're running this for the Yordle keyword. If the Yordle keyword ends up having good interactions, you will actually run this for sure. It's a worse LeBlanc. Yeah. It's not like the only reason to run this is pretty much the Yordle keyword, but it actually has a decent body. And if they give Yordle something that makes you want to run the keyword, then suddenly this really isn't bad. All right, then we've got Stone Stackers. Whoa, okay. This is hot. This is a big deal. Stone Stackers is a 2 mana 2/2 Yordle with Tough and Impact, the new keyword. And of course, it's from Bandle. Now, Impact just means it's Impact 1. It doesn't stack with itself yet without other sources. So it just means it deals 1 damage to the nexus when it strikes. This is really good. This is a crazy card. This Stone Stackers card. This is guaranteed auto include in any kind of deck that's valuing in the Yordle keyword, 100%. And I think that there's a decent amount of decks that aren't running the Yordle keyword that will run this card. This has Vanguard Defender vibes, or wait, what's it called? Vanguard, the elite one. It's the one nobody ever plays. Vanguard Defender, yeah. This card is really, really low key. I think despite the fact that like nobody actually plays this card, there have been multiple metas in the past where this card has been proper and people haven't put it in decks, for sure. This is one of the most historically underrated cards in the game. And Stone Stackers is basically an upgrade to it. It's in a different region, of course, but the Yordle keyword and impact are both relevant. All right. And by the way, before you say the elite keyword is relevant, it's not. The elite keyword has never been relevant, ever. It's sorry, elite players. Proto Poro is the one we saw earlier, which is, of course, it's got impact. It's the 1-mana 1/1 Freljord Bandle impact. For the most part, it looks like you're just running this. This is Bandle City's Poro, presumably. And like every Poro is using kind of like the region's concepts, right? We've got like, you know, the new Poros, like the Shurima Poro is using like the champion level up, and the Bilgewater Poro is using like the plunder mechanic. This is Bandle's Poro, and it's using Bandle's mechanic, the dual region mechanic. So it just also happens to be Freljord as well. And that's a really, really big deal. Poro decks will almost certainly not run Bandle. Almost certainly, we don't know what else is coming in Bandle, but Poro decks will still stay Freljord and PNZ. But the access to an additional Poro tag is actually just a huge deal in that deck, I think. Like, I will very, very happily play this card. And there's one final card. Oh god, Poro Sled. All right, the final card here, Poro Sled. A 5-mana 5/5 impact. Holy shit. It's a Poro, it's Bandle, it's Freljord, and when it attacks, it summons an attacking random 1-cost Poro. What the fuck? All right, dude, these Poro decks, you guys have laughed. You guys have laughed for months. I just realized my hat is like super sideways. These Poro decks that have been just like the laughing stock of the entire meta for patches, for months, for years at this point. They've been better than expected. I mean, like I said, I made top 50 with the Poros deck, and that deck's not good, but it's a bad elusives deck, and bad elusives decks are still good. These two new Poro cards actually make the Poro deck quite a bit better. Like, this is kind of crazy. If you just use like even a single Snacks on this card, even a single Snacks, this is a 5-mana 6/6 with impact that when it attacks, it summons a random 2/2 that's attacking as well. Like, that's kind of a big deal. And what's an even bigger deal is this card is epic, which means this is like the second good epic they've ever printed to this video game. So overall, this card's nuts. This card's absolutely crazy. Again, it is almost impossible Poro decks will actually run Bandle City. There is too much that ties you to both Freljord and PNZ, but I mean, who knows? I mean, if they release some super specific multiple Bandle City Poros, I guess I could maybe kind of imagine it. But either way, Freljord PNZ Poros is looking hot. Is pretty crazy. Yeah. So overall, we've got some hot new reveals. These are actually like pretty strong cards overall. Stone Stackers, I really think that this card is going to be one of the low-key ones. Again, this kind of effect is going to be a little bit meta dependent for sure, but it's a very, very solid card. And I expect, yeah, you're going to get some kind of value out of this Yordle keyword. At this point in time, though, we can kind of see that because of how often we're seeing the Yordle keyword, we're seeing it everywhere, and we're seeing it attached to things that are already good without the Yordle keyword. It's probably not going to be valued in as a keyword that much, right? Like in terms of the tribal tag, we're probably going to have like a couple of cards that boost with the Yordle keyword, like they level up if you played enough Yordles, or they'll do minor good things, but it'll be probably like the elite keyword where it won't really be a super powerful thing that you want to go out of your way for, just because all of these Yordles are already good without the keyword. All right. There will be some stuff that's like create a random Yordle. Yeah, that makes sense as well. All right, so what this means is tomorrow's champ reveal, as you guys are saying, will likely have impact. They're showing off impact right now, and impact is actually pretty cool. Now, to me, I don't know like the names of the abilities or how the specific mechanics works. I mean, you guys are saying Gnar is impact. I mean, impact could also be kind of like Ziggs too, right? Like, I feel like there's definitely like Ziggs will have to have impact. So why Gnar? And then Scion maybe? Yeah. So there will definitely, yeah, Scion will have impact as well for sure. But we're probably not getting Scion tomorrow. That'll probably happen later. But yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. The keyword shouts Tristana as well. Yeah, Tristana should have impact. That makes sense. I could totally see that. But overall, it's a pretty solid keyword, right? It's just like when you attack and when you strike, you're dealing 1 extra damage. So I mean, stone stackers, like dealing 1 damage is kind of nice. You can compare it to like Legion Grenadier's effects. Legion Grenadier is a solid card. It's a little bit overrated. A large part of the reason you run it is like it's got a good stat line into the mirror. You can like block MF and stuff like that. 2 mana 3/2 is nice. But just like dealing damage to the enemy nexus for free is pretty great. And stone stackers will pretty much always get one of those off for free. Pretty much every deck can value that except for like hyper control decks. And that's a big deal. Like just like having that free value on top of already being a Vanguard defender is great. Overall, okay. So very brief recap on the first card since we've been talking about these last 3. Hidden Pathways is going to be probably a solid option. It's kind of like Bandle City's draw card. This will be super easy to enable. Like it'll get enabled on like turn 3 and won't get disabled for the rest of the game. So it's basically just like a 3 mana draw 2 with like pretty much no deck building cost because you're always going to be running this in the deck that's already enabled it. It's all right. I mean, we're kind of at a point in the game where like a lot of the draw 2s are 2 mana, like Preservarium and Glimpse at this point. But in a Bandle deck that wants to play for the control synergy, you'll definitely be running Hidden Pathways. It's pretty solid. You guys really don't like Treasure Trash? You guys really don't? Is that just me? That's just me? I mean, I don't think that this card is like amazing. I don't think I'd slot it in every deck ever. But finishers are really rare in Runeterra. And if you have like a narrow hand, if you're like on a 4-card hand on like turn 8 or something, you're actually getting like pretty excellent odds off of this card. Like you're pretty much always getting a really valuable play. Now of course it's like deniable, but I mean we're not in a deny meta right now, and we kind of haven't been in a deny meta for a very long time. I think for the most part it's gonna be kind of fringe, but I could see it being ran in a meta where you need like a kind of like slower grindier finisher for sure. Like it's a niche card. I'm not saying it's not niche, but there's a difference between niche and trash, right? Like I can imagine scenarios where I would actually want to run this deck in a specific meta. I wouldn't chuck this into a deck in any meta ever, but a lot of the skill of deck building is being able to adapt to metas that demand things, right? And I can tell you right now, this is an extremely underutilized thing in deck building in general. There's a lot of cases where people should be running cards and they aren't, just because people aren't really adapting to specific metas that are happening like that week or that month, right? And this is the kind of card that I could definitely see slot-ins in those niche situations. But yeah, I mean, it's not gonna like dominate the meta. How often do you get good cards? It's kind of like the Bilge 5 mana treasure. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the Bilge 5 mana treasure. Cards like this should have a weighted creation pool. Honestly, it might. There's a very good chance that it does. We don't know. If you use stress testing that costs 0 forever. Yeah, stress testing with this card is sort of funny. Like I don't think that is a good combo. You're almost certainly not going to want to use Treasure Trash and stress testing. But if you're low on cards in hand, you could do it. The biggest problem with Treasure Trash is probably like the hand size. Because there's already so many situations, like when you're playing deep and you're going in for Treasure Trove, there is already so many situations where your hand is actually like too full for Treasure Trove. That happens a lot. And this card kind of wants you to have like a 4-card hand or less to be valuable. And that might just like, even in the right meta, like the hand state still might whiff a little too much. For sure. But yeah, it's not a great card. All right. But yeah, overall, that's today's reveals. So Poros are looking really hot. Stone Stackers is looking nuts in general. And yeah, I mean, I could like Arena Kingpin, people are gonna dog on, but if you want the Yordle keyword or you're in Noxus, like there's nothing really wrong with running this kind of stat line. Like if you have a specific need for it. We don't know what the Yordle keyword is gonna do yet, but you could definitely see it. All right, and that's today's reveal. So tomorrow it is looking like we are likely to get some champion with impact. Could be Ziggs, could be Gnar, could be Scion, although I really think it'll probably be a Yordle. I mean, it's just Ziggs, right? Come on, let's be honest. And yeah, I mean, if it can like, it says impact can stack, which means presumably there will be keywords that say like, you know, impact to, or I give impact to another unit or something like that. Tristana could be Tristana. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's gonna be something with impact. And now Bandle City's got kind of like a more fleshed out direction, right? Like we can see here that people are gonna want to, it's got some like semi aggro game plan, right? Like impact is a pretty aggressive keyword. It's like mid-range chip damage in some cases when applied to these kind of like slower, chonkier units, which is pretty solid overall. It's looking pretty good for Bandle City. The other regions, when they launched, Targon and Shurima, when they launched, they weren't really great at first, but I think because of the dual region system and based on like the card quality we've seen so far, Bandle will probably be stronger than either of those on launch. I mean, that's a guess. We haven't seen most of the cards, but it seems likely. All right, what do you guys think? Any other ways to use these?